Hey guys, Sullivan here in a very snowy Philadelphia. I am out here in the snow to do a tour of my outdoor holiday projects. The snow might make me hustle through this a little bit, but I do have footage of some of the making of these projects, and I can always do a voiceover. It just is really snowing. We're supposed to get maybe 6 inches, which is kind of a lot for us since last year we had no snow. So let's go. My main goal this year was to try to use up all the decor that I have purchased for holiday decorating over the years. I made dried flower and preserved flower wreath kits this year, and of course, as I usually do, I over-ordered. So I had a lot of leftover materials, and then I had bought 2 seasons ago, I had bought these kind of glitter branches and leaves, and I did not get to do the project I had intended for them. So they were just sitting in storage. These are the same lit branches as last year. And then I just used some of the dried materials, eucalyptus, ruscus, copper beech, some of the painted and sprayed things, some curly willow, and then some pink preserved thistle, and some just, I don't think it's tinted, it's just this kind of like nice mushroom brown color. I think that the planters got some exposure to some of the dyes and preserved chemicals, but I kind of love the way they're aging, so I'm not too disappointed about that. It looks really pretty in the snow. I was trying hard to get out here to do this tour before the snow really got going, but that just didn't happen today. I won't walk on the walkway, so we get that nice coating of snow. So here are the front door planters. I had bought these copper, brown, and kind of rose gold, up to maybe that's a platinum color, foliage branches to do a project for last year, and didn't get to it, and I really did not want to take the planter towers apart. These are fiber stone. They are generally okay outside. We do not, I'm in zone 7A verging into 7B, so we don't generally have too many issues. The only thing I wouldn't leave outside is like a true terracotta, but so I feel like these will be okay because this is a pretty protected area and they don't really have anything in them. I pulled all the plants out, left the like half a layer of soil, and used that as my frog. And then as I looked through all the varieties of branches that are of glitter stems that I had, I thought it might be fun to kind of stuff them in to the individual pots and make it feel like plants, which I have given the scientific name of Glitteropterus enthusiastica because I thought it was funny. I do have some pansies and some heuchera still here. Up until the snow, the pansies were still blooming. So, and then the big urns, this is what happens. A couple of people messaged me on Instagram and asked me what happens to these arrangements in weather. They kind of get tipped forward. They are full all around, but the weight of the snow kind of drags everything forward. And I'll be totally honest with you. When I looked at the photos of these, they're a little too busy. There's a little too much going on in them. And that's because I didn't buy a specific palette for these. I was trying to use what I had. I think that if I had been able to just choose a few things for it, I would have made a slightly more edited palette. but I just didn't really have enough stuff to fill these. And I did try these moss branches as like a focal feature, but they were so top heavy that they kind of needed to go in this base. And then I've just covered them with some lights. That is the front entry this year. And I used birch twigs, painted birch twigs, and I used, this is real ilex berry, real pansies, real heuchera. So kind of like the trick of the eye. It's real real beech, but it's dyed olive green, real white pine, and then just kind of a mix of textures. So I will admit that this is a little wild and busy, but I do like it. I think this is a good representation of the way I like to use non-traditional colors that still feel like holiday. And I love the idea of the glitter ferns. And then the wreath this year is, again, it's just a mix of all the dried materials and textures I had left over. So I just, as I was making the big arrangements and finishing up the planters, I just saved little bits and pieces to put into a grapevine base. And I like that it kind of ties all the colors together. Alright, so why are we standing here? Because I like you guys, but I'm not climbing up on a snowy roof to show you that. So a few years ago, when I started decorating in earnest for the holidays, my husband Tim asked me to think about doing a wreath up on the roof, because this is a flat roof and I can put a ladder here and climb up on it. We can't climb out our windows onto it. And so last year I found the motivation to do it. We used some cabling that I used for hanging installations and wedding work. And I made approximately a 6-foot handmade wreath by lashing grapevine, branches, twigs, and lots of evergreens together, and then covering the whole thing with lights. And it was very pretty. And Tim really liked how it looked. He would stand across the street and admire it. It looked like it was on fire. It was great. It had a couple hundred lights on it. But it was really hard to get up a ladder here. It was unstable because I had made it by hand. I didn't have a wreath form that was big enough. I didn't want to make one out of like conduit or pipe. So, because I was kind of just doing it I had a lot of evergreen left over from some holiday projects, so I just wanted to try to get it done. So last year at the end of the season, after we struggled to get it down and throw it away and all of that good stuff, I decided to look at the wholesalers to see if I could find a pre-made wreath in a large enough size at a price that wasn't too crazy, and I found one at end of season on sale. So it's a 60-inch diameter wreath. It is faux. It is pre-lit with maybe 200 warm white lights, but I added another layer of about 300 more in a slightly different shade, and I think it really just like pops off the house. I added some of the leftover rose gold glitter branches to it and made a bow, which is not made of like, I don't like weatherproof ribbons because they tend to be polyester or nylon, and they just don't drape well and don't tie well. So I used some cotton and silk blends in like the 4-inch width and just kind of made some streamers. So they blow around. They'll probably look a little soggy and limp in the snow, but it was just nice to give it, I think it needed like a focal element since I did put some decorations on it. Man, I picked a terrible time to come out here and film. The first thing I guess I should address is that Every year I do this, my dad asks me if it's gonna pull over whatever I've attached it to. I will make sure that no heavy amounts of snow catch on any of this, like come out and shake it to get some snow off, but no. Last year it didn't pull the front entry columns over, and this year it is not going to pull the sunroom over. I think we can all guess that my father has never built a house. The house is not going to fall down. The ornaments might. So there are two types of lights going on, and I'm very excited with how the LED tube and icicle lights came out as the suggestion of a beating heart. That was a lot of work. They are wired to armature wire and then tucked in so that they have a little bit of play. I think if I were to do this again, I would have pulled the installation out and up onto the upper ledge, because you can see it's kind of tipping the lights forward, but this is what I do. Everyone that's ever worked for me knows that I look at a finished project, and instead of being like, yeah, it looks great, I look at all the ways that I could improve it if I had to do it again. So the number one question I get asked about this project is, how do I do this? And I would point you to the ornament garland video. I make strands of ornaments and wrap them around conduit. That is all. The trick, if you would like one, is to be persistent and keep going until it looks like this. Do I think you have to do it on this scale? No. Somebody tagged me on Instagram. She had used about 200 ornaments on a garland at her beautiful home in Aspen. Gorgeous. So you don't have to do this. I own them, and it's a shame not to use them. So the LED raindrop or icicle lights, obviously these are lights that you would put up on the eaves to look like snow, meteor shower lights. I was very happy to find them because, of course, I wanted this effect, and I did consider making my own and learning how to wire LEDs so that they chased and things like that. But I found these on Amazon, and my favorite thing about them, most LED lights do not connect well together, but you can connect up to 5 sets of these to one strand. So there's 5 on this side, 5 on this side, and then cord management. I hate electrical very much. So this gives you kind of good representation of all the colors. I do think that using non-traditional colors still looks very festive. I'm sure everyone will think it's strange, but this kind of brown olive green is one of my favorites. I also do like, I got these icy blue ones last year on sale. And the only thing I'll say is that they don't really respond, this finish doesn't respond well to weather. So I think at some point they'll all be just plain blue, but that's fine. Pandemic was really my motivation for this design. I feel like in what has been just a really difficult year for so many people, and people who have had so much loss, whether that's small businesses and people who are losing jobs, to people who have lost loved ones, to people who are just, you know, this is a tough year for anyone that has ever struggled with mental health. And I just thought, I'm not an outwardly emotional person, but I am a very sensitive person. And I just felt like everybody needed some love. And having had the experience of standing out here when we didn't have the fence and working on my garden projects in full view of all my neighbors this year, and hearing from them how much they enjoyed seeing my progress and seeing what I was doing, and seeing how I was keeping myself busy because my business is closed this year, I just felt like this was something that I could do by putting it out front where everyone could see it, that hopefully it would just make people smile, because it makes me smile. Not really in the moment when I'm working on it or accidentally cutting the lights in the dark, but I just felt like we all could use some love. And no matter what holiday you celebrate, no matter what's going on, I just hope you're able to find some love and some joy out there. Thank you guys so much for watching my outdoor holiday project tour. If you want to see how I make these ornament strands, I suggest you watch one of the 2 ornament garland videos. It really is, everyone asks if there is some trick, and there is not. It is having enough ornaments and being persistent, which I definitely am when I have an idea of something that I want to do. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody that you think needs a little ornament love in their life. I hope that everyone that needs some love out there is able to find some joy and some peace this holiday season. Please subscribe. The cats and I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a very happy holiday. And I will see you next week with my Christmas tree and my mantle. And then I will be putting my feet up for the holiday season. All right, guys. See you soon.